All right, guys, top of the morning. Happy August 12th. I'm coming to you feeling very excited that our kids are back in school today. I have a first grader and I have a seventh grader. And when you're raising children, I think that it really makes you look at time in a completely different way. And for those that have raised kids on the call and for those that may raise kids in the future, you look at time vastly different, right? It's like you see how they grow. And it's like, oh my God, I remember when they were just a baby last week. And so I don't know, I feel really, really grateful this morning. I introduced my son to Bugs Bunny. All right. For the folks that don't know who Bugs Bunny is, this is old school Warner Brothers, but he absolutely loved it. And then I showed him over the weekend Animaniacs. And in Animaniacs, there was a small little short clip of these guys called the Godfeathers. Now, the Godfeathers was a play on Goodfellas, the movie, the old mafia movie. And he absolutely thinks it's the best thing on earth. And we had this moment where we connected over the weekend, and he's just, Dad, do it again. It's like Joe Pesci fighting with Ray Liotta, and then Robert De Niro's the voice of reason, but they're pigeons and they're gangsters, and he thinks it was funny. So I just thought I'd share that with you because we're going to talk a little bit about kids this morning, and we're going to correlate this whole entire message. But we're going to go to the birthday boy. Once again, you guys, if you're just tapping in, it was Vernon's birthday yesterday. He is now our co-coach for our Intensity Accountability Group. He's also co-coach for our Zillow program, and it's exciting to have you in the coaching space. So Vernon, I'm going to have you take us out on the field on this beautiful, beautiful Monday morning. So without further ado, Vernon, this was unexpected, but I'm going to turn the mic over to you. Let's roll.
Good morning, beautiful people. Top of the morning. I'm still in my birthday celebratory mode, so just catch on to the vibes. I have something brief and succinct for you that I heard the other day that I notated that I thought was just super powerful, and I'm going to open up our Monday morning, first day of the week. Thank you for all the birthday wishes, and it's really simple, 6 words. I'm going to ask that you pay attention. Mediocrity scales exponentially. But on the contrary, excellence scales incrementally. And these Monday, Wednesday, Friday sessions are the incremental scaling in your business. So I implore you and encourage you to be present, to be focused, to take something from this hour call today that you can implement in your business immediately, because you now understand that excellence scales incrementally as opposed to mediocrity scaling exponentially. I hope that you're able to pick up a nugget that I just dropped on you guys. Let's be attentive this morning. You're starting the week off on the right foot, and let's scale incrementally beginning with today.
Man, what an incredible way to start the session. But obviously this wasn't Vernon trying to reach and trying to figure out something. The man is clear. He always is on his game and really thoughtful about what he does, and has high intention. That's what my point is. And so I appreciate this. Glad you had a happy birthday. So you guys, I saw something yesterday and it kind of reminded me of this group. And I don't care about how much skill you have. Now, you could be the most skilled person on this call. You could be a veteran. You could be somebody that has all the sales skills, the background, the marketing. But Muhammad Ali once said, the will must be stronger than the skill, right? The will to succeed and the desire to want to do something bigger in your life has to far outweigh the skill. And I promise you this. Oftentimes, you will smoke somebody that has all the skill in the world, but just doesn't have the will to show up to do the gritty things. And that's what I love about you guys. That's what you represent. That is the essence of Keep It Moving, because we're always keeping it moving towards our dreams, goals, and visions. So I appreciate that sentiment. Let's go to George, and then I'm going to go to JJ, and then we're going to go to George Martinez. Quick download, and then we're going to get right into the session. Let's go, JJ.
Okay, real quick. So 2006, I had my own brokerage and the whole thing. I had 2 guys that showed up. One guy laid carpet. He knew he didn't know anything. He knew he wasn't that smart, so he did everything I told him. The other dude came from tech. Within 6 months, the dude from tech transitioned into being our audio, video, whatever guy. And right now, the other guy retired and went back to Mexico. He probably has real estate assets that have about $5 million. And all
Really?
he did was, yeah, he didn't think. He just did what I told him to do. He understood that he was, as far as he was concerned, he wasn't very smart. He just did what was supposed to be done. Didn't question it. Went to work. Did everything that I told him to do. The other guy was super smart. He was going to figure out the new way. The whole, he knew how to figure everything else out because he was sharp. Uh, point is, one guy's retired, has at least $5 million in real estate assets. The other guy, I don't know where he is. But I can tell you this: he doesn't have that much real estate.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. So if you just tuned in, the will must be stronger than the skill. Absolutely love that. So George, let's get a quick little download from you. I know that you're at a really, really cool event on Thursday and Friday. So George Martinez, if we can do a quick down.
Yeah, I'm on here.
There you are, big dog. Let's go.
Yeah, so honestly, it was a great event, even though it was only like 24 hours. I highly recommend you guys go to events like this, even though they're out of town, they're a couple hours away, because this was an event that was like less than 100 people. So a lot of the speakers and panelists were people that are leading people in our industry, whether they're in loans or they're in real estate selling like us. But one of the things that I really loved is that they all kept saying the same message is like, just show up. Even if you think you suck on video, like just get it done. Because a lot of them that we see and follow, like Neil Holmes and stuff, he was there. He was talking about like, dude, my videos in the beginning were not the best. He showed his original one. You're like, damn. And he's like, but you just keep going, you keep progressing. And one of my favorite things too that I really liked was that they basically said, pay attention to your engagement. So if your Instagram right now is not in a creator mode to where you can see your analytics, change it to that and start tracking the type of content that you're posting, especially because you'll see where you're keeping your followers engaged because those are your consumers. I've even noticed it with my own content is I'll watch the video, I'll look at the insights and I'll count, okay, cool, this is where I'm losing people. I'm losing people in the intro of my property tours because I'm talking too much about the property rather than just showing them and letting them see it themselves. I'm telling them the whole property characteristics, and by the time the tour starts, they're already lost. So another thing that I learned too is even if people aren't liking it, just pay attention more so to the views because more people are watching you than you actually think. Like Cal Tattoos, he never liked any of my Instagram posts, but I saw him in person and he was like, bro, I literally have been watching all of your content. Like it's been leveling up. You're doing great. So even though people aren't liking or commenting it, know that people are still watching. I'm even seeing it with my own seller and buyer leads. Like some of them don't even like any of my stuff, but they contact me and say, hey, I love the information that you're putting out. And then also another thing that they said to do is switch up your content. Don't make it all about just real estate. Make it personal too, because a lot of the creators were talking about that most of their content that hits and that gets them clients is their personal stories. Like Taya DeCarlo, she's a great person to follow. She was talking about like she got like a $5 million listing from posting about going through the pits when her and her husband were getting a divorce and that her business was tanking. And she said she was being very vulnerable in a post. Obviously, there's a fine line between oversharing. So of course, feel comfortable sharing with what you feel comfortable with without airing your dirty laundry, but be vulnerable and let people know who you are. If you're a parent, you're going through something in life, because a lot of them shared that their most viewed and engaged posts were actually not even real estate. It was just them showing up as a human and being personable and showing who they really are and not being a salesperson. And then also there was one more that I thought was really great. I was going to share with you. Shucks. But yeah, honestly, just keep showing up. And honestly, even if you don't feel like your video is your thing, just know, don't be a secret agent and like let people know what you're doing. Even if you're just like documenting your day to day. If you're a brand new agent, get your ass on social media, document as you learn. People are going to see that and they're going to grow with you too. So yeah, that's George's TED Talk.
Excellent, excellent. I don't know where Elias went, but I'm going to go ahead and say, George, thank you for that. There he is. No audio, big dog.
I'm back. Sorry, I had to log off and log back on. So I caught the tail end of it. It was a little choppy for me, but hopefully you guys picked up something from that. George, thank you for contributing as always. Listen, you guys, it's a constant evolution. We're going to be analyzing. This is the opportunity for you to continue to build on your personal brand. And you're going to hear the words personal brand echo and echo and echo until I leave this business, which I have no intention of leaving this business for a good 10 years. And so you guys, personal brand is everything. And so I love that you shared that. Let's do this. I'm going to share my screen really quick. And we're going to talk about a couple of things that I was inspired by over the weekend. And since the kids are coming back to school, we're going to talk a little bit about kids and defining moments. And so you guys, I wanted to talk to you about breaking the script. And I don't know if anybody knows, before I go any further and I get into this conversation, does anybody know who Joshi the giraffe is? Since we have children, you might have done some reading. We obviously talk about customer advocacy. We talk about customer service. We talk about creating and defining these moments. Before I go any further, does anybody know who Joshi the giraffe is? Don't Google it now, but does anybody know? Raise your hand or take yourself off of mute. Okay, cool. So here's why I want to start the conversation off with this. First off, is I want everybody on this call to really think creatively. And then I want you to look at your buyer's consultation. I want you to look at your listing presentation. And I want you to look in your investor presentations. Now, obviously, there's a mode and there's a method for us all to present. But what I want to encourage everybody to do today is to really break the script. And these are things that I've been learning from the book, The Power of Moments. If you're in that book, then congrats. It's an amazing book. But I want you guys to think about breaking the script. Now, not going completely out of the context of what you're trying to create, but not having to walk within the confines of what tradition says that we need to do throughout our presentations. We all have an opportunity to truly think creatively and say, when are the moments that I can make this different for the families, for the people that I'm engaging with on tour? How can I make the tours more special? You've heard people say that they bring a clipboard, they bring stuff for the kids, they have a cooler full of water, of juices, of snacks, right? What are we doing when we're in the tour? How are we following up? What does that look like? What are we sending them? Are we sending them a manila envelope prior to our buyer's consultation? Say, hey, don't open this until we have our buyer's consultation, because we're going to be covering some of those documents that are in that. Are you doing a pre-listing package that gets couriered over to their front doorstep before you even have that listing appointment the next day? Are you sending a box of goodies? Are you sending coffee? Are you sending some type of pastries? Like, I want you guys to really think differently so you can delight and deepen the relationships that you have with the consumers. You guys, this is separation season. We are weeks away from this industry changing, and I promise you guys, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. But what's going to happen is it's really going to push you guys to really separate yourself amongst all the other realtors out there. And listen, consumers are going to be watching this. They're going to be more cynical. They're going to be more critical of the things that you guys do. And so I want to help you guys prepare. And I wanted to start this off by talking to you about a giraffe. Let me give you some context of this giraffe. So how many people on this call, first off, have kids? Just raise your hand or give me an emoji if you have a child. All right. Well, when the kids are little, oftentimes they have something that is really special for them when they go to bed. Maybe it's a stuffed animal. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's that, whatever it is. Well, in this case, this family had traveled to Florida. And when they got back home and it was bedtime for their son, they realized that he had left his giraffe. Now, his giraffe was everything to him. Now, that giraffe was like a stuffed animal on top and it had a little blankie. My son had one of those as well. And so I know the importance of those when the kids are that little. Well, he was super upset, the kid. And he couldn't go to sleep. And his dad made up a whole story. He said, well, he's still at the resort and he decided to stay there and have some more time on vacation. And so what did the dad do? The dad called the Ritz-Carlton, and the Ritz-Carlton being the epitome of class, of style, of the higher echelon of accommodations. What the Ritz-Carlton did is exactly what the Ritz-Carlton is known for, is they went above and beyond. So instead of just packing up this giraffe and sending it back to the family, what they did is they made this a complete experience for the child that he will always remember. What they did is they created a folder, and in that folder, it showed how Joshy the giraffe was spending his vacation, that he'll be coming home soon, but while he's there, he's going to cruise around on the golf cart. He's going to lay out by the pool and get some sun. And stay with me, you guys, because this is going to all come full circle. They even showed Joshy in the media room and in the security room with loss prevention, making sure that everything was okay and the resort was all right. So Joshy, being away from his parents, was able to experience a vacation on his own. And then he even was able to get a nice little massage. And you might think, like, why am I telling you all this? The reason why I'm telling you all this is because you guys have the opportunity to create moments like this, to break the script, to do things that are completely out of the norm, because this one moment for the Ritz-Carlton has echoed and echoed and echoed since 2012. There's been tons of articles about this in regards to customer service. There's been tons of presentations and keynotes, and it's also featured in this book, and authors have wrote about this. Why? Because what the Ritz-Carlton did is they completely broke the script. The script says, put it in a box, send it priority mail, and now he gets this box, and it's just an empty box, and it's cool, Joshy got home. But they wanted to really define that experience for the family. And so what was beautiful about this is that that's something that that family will always remember. Those accolades that the Ritz-Carlton got about how they went above and beyond for this family are now part of the reviews that future families see if they're going to be traveling there. And when you think about that level of customer service, and you know what goes down? The thought of, what am I paying for this customer service? What am I paying for this advocacy? What am I paying to have that princess experience? This is a cut above anything. You know right now that you can go stay at a budget fucking side of the highway hotel, or you know what you're going to get when you pull up into the Ritz-Carlton and when they open your door and when you get into your room and the screen says, welcome, Rakitha Brown and your family, right? When they have the turn down service, you know what type of service that you're going to get. And so when you think about yourself, and when you think about all the things that you're doing in your presentation, in your experience, how you're creating and defining these moments for your consumer throughout, that's our responsibility, and that's our opportunity to really break the script. Yeah, we do a buyer's consultation, but when a family comes to a buyer's consultation, or when they do their first showing, does the kid get his own folder? Do they get a little check mark of room for my toys, room to play? I like the trees, the whatever it is. Like, do we create these moments that completely break the script for a consumer? Or are we going to do the script because you were trained and you were taught to do that? This is our opportunity to really look at just a simple Joshy the giraffe story and say, where are some moments throughout my presentation I might be able to do things differently? Or when I send that first email, or when I'm writing this fucking novel that's never going to land, can I shorten this? Can I create something? Can I mail them something? Hey guys, there's three documents that govern a real estate transaction. It's the listing presentation or listing agreement, it's the RPA, and it's the agency relationship, right? The buyer representation. What if we sent that to them before we even sat down and had a buyer's consultation and it came through a courier? There's just so many things that made me, really look at this and say, how can we define this and get better at what we do? I see a couple hands up, so I'm going to go to you guys really quick. Let's go to Ashley. Ashley, you threw your hand up right away, and feel free to get involved in this conversation, you guys. So Ashley, let's hear from you.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Awesome. So this made me remember what my real estate agent did for me in 2012. Now, I was that buyer that wanted to live in Danville in a $900,000 house, an $18 an hour budget. So I was so particular. I would not pick a house And so what she did, and I didn't realize it at the time, it took me 10 years to realize what she did. What she did is she found an off-market property, it was a probate property. She asked me what my favorite colors were. She decked it out in my favorite, like all natural colors. She, in the closet, she put a fur coat and some sunglasses. I was a single girl at 25 years old, and she made me walk into that house and make me go, oh my gosh, this was made for me. She had a fur coat, she had glasses, she had glitter countertop, everything. She did that for me. And then she showed me like 6 ugly houses first and then brought me to that house. So I felt like I walked into like, oh my gosh, this was made for me. It was a moment that I don't think I'll ever forget. And of course, obviously, I bought the house in 2012.
And Ashley, what year was that? I'm sorry.
2012.
2000. It's ironic that this story was from 2012, but let me ask you, during that time and that experience and that, journey of home ownership, were there some bumps in the road? Was there some tough times?
Oh yeah, I didn't know what I didn't know. That was back when I had just stopped living in my car and I was going from place to place. And she actually was the real estate agent that kept coming back to the bank. And I could see her bank accounts. I knew she was a very, very good real estate agent. And as she was coming back to the bank, she was educating me and telling me I could do it, encouraging it. She'd bring me movie tickets, little things. They probably cost her $5. Little things she kept giving me, asking me, let me just drive you around. She knew what I was qualified for because she was asking me the questions. Well, how much do you make? Well, hey, how much could you have saved? Could you get a gift? She was sitting there, but she was building the relationship. I didn't buy for like 6 or 7 months, but I had an aunt that I could have bought with, but she was the one that kept coming back, and she was making those special moments for me and giving me so much value over time that I didn't go with the people I knew because I had bonded with her, and I felt like I owed it to her to go with her.
God, I absolutely love this. You guys, I want you to really think about breaking the script. And you can think about this in the very simplest of terms. When you're hosting an open house, God forbid, are you pre-approved? Are you working with an agent? It's just that is so mundane and it is so scripty. Right? Are you working with an agent? Are you pre-approved? Like, no, who's the person that's helping you understand this vast world of real estate and walking you through everything that you need to know, right? Who's the one that's in your corner educating you along the way? Who's the one that's creating this entire experience for you and making sure that you were advocated from start to finish? Who's that person for you, right? So there's so many ways to go about this, but think about breaking the script and some of the things that we're doing and say, there's probably an opportunity for me to turn that up, enhance that, change that, and redefine that. Nicole Penland, you had your hand up. Let's go to you.
I was going to say the question that I asked that answers both of those questions without having that same kind of scripted thing is, have you all started making offers? Because that tells me that you're working with an agent, and that tells me that you've been pre-approved. And then they can start the conversation of, oh yeah, we put in this many, nothing hit yet, but, or, they start talking about their experience with making offers.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys. So on the thread of Joshy the Giraffe, does anybody else have any contributions, any thoughts, any insight, anybody want to contribute? Or was there a thought like Ashley that reminded you of a moment where you had an experience that really stood out from you and what for you and why? And I'm going to share one with you guys. So I'm working at Coldwell Banker, super, super traditional brokerage. I was the district sales manager for the second largest online lead team in the United States of America. And super, super corporate, right? I'd go to the corporate office in Concord every single day and, do my thing. That's back when I wore a suit every single day because it fit the profile of where I was working. Well, when I originally met Kenny was on the 17th floor of the building that eventually had an office on the first floor for Climb Real Estate. And I remember meeting Kenny and knew a little bit about him, but we started chopping it up. And then 3 months later, I decided to join Climb. Well, when I joined Climb Real Estate, they were super techy. It was super edgy. Every single room was themed. It felt like you were walking into one of our offices today. So it was, at the time, I had never seen anything like it. And so it was really, really cool. Trendy and indie and future forward thinking and let's go against the grain and don't be the sea of the sameness, all these things. Well, I remember them sending me this document from a company called EvaBot. And you should know what EvaBot is. And I answered some questions about my likes, my interests. Do I drink coffee? Do I drink tea? Do I drink this? Do I like that? Do I like gadgets? All these things. And so I was like, just clicking the buttons. Well, a week later, I get this really, really cool box. I open it up. Hey, Elias, thanks for joining Climb Real Estate. And it was this box of all of these things that were right in alignment with who I was based on my answers. And I remember the coffee, I remember the gadgets, I remember the portable charger. And I was like, that was a defining moment for me. That was something that was different. That's something that broke the script. And so you guys look at this in your life and in our business, there's going to be tons of opportunities for us to break the script and do something different and create a Joshie the Giraffe type of a moment. Let's go to Brandy Alfonso.
Okay, so just something that goes along with the topic. When you're passionate about something, and this has been something that's helped me just in general with life, and it's been big in real estate now too, is when you're passionate and when like you love something, you become so delusional about it that those ideas, like the Joshie the Giraffe thing, like I'm sure somebody that worked there was like, that's crazy, who would do that? But look at the impact. Like when you become so delusional, when you step out of the box, when you show up, it transforms like not only the other people's life, but your life as well. Because then you're like, every moment you're like, oh my gosh. And you just become so wildly like passionate that there's not a setback there. Like you just keep going forward. And like, for an example, over the weekend, I didn't have kids for a day, right? Kind of crazy. So I decided I'm going to clean the house without the kids. And then I was looking around and there's been some things in my house that I've needed to replace. And I was like, I'm going to go out. And I looked at my kitchen table and I was like, I'm either going to paint it, buy a new one, or set up a cute little display. So I went and set up a cute little display so I didn't get too far into a project. And my daughter came home and she was like, Mom, this house is starting to feel like home. And like, I had comments like people like, oh my gosh, you have a plate setting with 5 kids. How does that work? Or, oh my gosh, like, how is that going to stay nice? And even in my head, I was like, are my boys going to just throw this around the house? And then like, I'm going to be sad about it. But just hearing that from my daughter, like, cause I'm my own consumer right now. And that's who I'm doing it for. So it's to just hear that. I was like, yep, Mom is thinking outside the box. I don't care how crazy it is. And I had to have a conversation with my little guys, like, hey, this makes Mommy happy. Can we leave it like this? And they were so excited. Like they were shocked, like, wow, it looks so nice. So I think like, we just have to be crazy. And it's not a bad thing. Like, it's so funny when people say like, oh, you're crazy. People take that to heart. Like, oh, I'm crazy. I want to be crazy. I want to be delusional. I want to be so passionate for something that like people are like, you wouldn't do that. So yeah, that's just my little 2 cents.
I absolutely love this because it takes me back. You guys, be unreasonable. Right? Just be unreasonable, right? Do the things like I'm sure somebody at Ritz-Carlton was like, oh, this is crazy, but let's go. Let's give this giraffe, this stuffed animal, a whole, white glove service and experience. And let's do it the Ritz-Carlton way. It was unreasonable to have staff members take pictures, put it in a folder, put that together in this beautiful, folder for the child. It was unreasonable to give this fucking giraffe a front seat in the, in the golf cart. It was unreasonable to put him by the pool, but that moment will last forever. Great stuff. Cynthia, let's go to you and then we're gonna shift gears.
I want to share a story where I used to be a cosmetology instructor and I shifted over to skincare. So I was a skincare instructor and most of the other professors were just, everything was all, let's do, whatever the theory is for the day. And they may have a little project or something of the sort. So I had my students put on a whole play. They had to create the play, they had to create the characters, they had to do this whole project. And I presented it to the whole school. I had them present it to all of the students in every department, whether it was hair, skin, nails, whatever. And once that project was over, needless to say, it wasn't just me who got the recognition for doing such a project, but the students were ecstatic. I mean, the students were for them, it was an amazing event because they had an opportunity to shine. And some students were like apprehensive because they felt like, well, some students are better or they know more or theirs is going to be better than mine. And so then I made it, when I saw that happening, I stopped everything and made them all do it together. All you guys come in together, everybody's input is what's going to make this a success. And so then that was, yeah.
I love it. I love it. I appreciate the contribution. So let's go around. I want to hear just from a couple of people, just kind of what's on your mind. Where's your thoughts go when we have this conversation? Let's go, Jakara. You're right in the middle of my screen. Let's go, Oliver. Let's hear from you guys. Where's your thoughts go? As you're thinking about this and really redefining and defining what I like to call creative tactics and the ability to delight and deepen relationships. Like, where does your mind go on this conversation? We'll go Jakara first, and then we'll go Oliver next.
Honestly, what Brandy said kind of hit home for me, to be super frank. Because for so long, I've always been called crazy. But that's just because I'm super different from like the people that I've always been around.
You said, do you fall crazy?
I've been called crazy forever.
Okay.
So that's how, like what Brandy said hit home for me.
Pumpkin spice crazy. Okay, go on.
No, but just honestly, like my thoughts are just what I'm hearing, and honestly, going back to what Brandy said, genuinely, like remaining true to that part of me is just, it'll make me stand out in my business and everything that I do. Because honestly, it's not even about what I know, who I know. It's just me being unique, and I think that applies to everybody, and that'll show in my business too. So that's kind of what.
Go be crazy. Go be the wild one. Go be the rebel. Go against the grain. Go right when everyone is turning left. Like, that is what creates leaders in this business. That's what creates brands. That's what creates identities, right? Like, looking at like, I'm going to be completely unreasonable. And I'll be real with you guys. There is no other company right now in the Bay Area that does 3 days a week group coaching in this atmosphere like this for this long. Now going on over 3 years, there's no other company. This is unreasonable, right? But I know the impact that it's had on the masses, right? It's unreasonable. So Jakara, be crazy as fuck. And I promise you, that is the best thing that you can put to your business. Let's go, Oliver. Let's hear from you. And then I want to get a contribution from Jeff, because it's good to see your face, my man. Let's go, Oliver.
Yeah. Hey, go crazy as fuck. I love that, Elias. But yeah, to me, it's just like thinking outside of the box. I want to, get out of my comfort zone and then just give that customer that experience that they're going to just remember me, right? Just those little things, like you guys were saying, is just the little things that go a long way. And that's definitely now in my brain. Now I'm going to start thinking how I could do that into my business.
Totally. I love this. So I'll give you some context here. Mr. Consumer, Mr. Buyer, if I was going to mail you something that's applicable to our journey together, what's the best mailing address? Okay, 123 Main Street. All right, be on the lookout for something. If you had a listing appointment, it is normal, or it's a normal thought for you to say, you know what, I'm going to drop something off the night before. I'm going to do a pre-listing packet. I'm going to send something over via courier, right? That's a normal thought process. If maybe I had a listing lead that came in, but they were apprehensive and they didn't want to list, it is not unreasonable to think I'm going to go drop off some cookies. Hey, this is a nice message. Remember me, Otis White. I just want to let you guys know that I'm in your corner. If you have any questions, I'm going to be the one that can help you, sell your house and transition to the next phase. That's not unreasonable, but who's to say that we can't start doing that with our buyer clients, right? Hey, you guys, we're scheduled for our buyer's consultation on Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to that. There's a couple things that I wanted to cover ahead of time, but I wanted to send you guys something. What's the best address? Wonderful. Who's to say you can't send them the checklist ahead of time? Who's to say that you can't send them the RPA, the RLA, and the broker representation agreement or the broker buyer representation agreement. Who's to say you can't send a little note? I'm so excited about this journey. You're going to be going through all kinds of emotions, but I'm so excited to be able to help you guys on this chapter of your life. How powerful is that? How powerful is that? And it took you just a little bit of time, a little bit of time. So Oliver, I really appreciate your contribution. Jeff, let's go to you, big dog, before we hit the next set. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So for me, it's just like it boils back down to, especially like Team Fast related, be you, right? So like it is, everybody's talking about we're thinking outside the box. Well, it's you being you. It's not even outside your box. That is who you are at your core. If you really think about it down to your core of like, what do I do? How do I like to interact? Because I guarantee you, it wasn't outside the box when you was in high school and you brought your friend some balloons and a cake and you did some extra stuff for your friends, right? It's not outside the box. It's just what you was doing. It's who you are. So be you. Same thing for me. Like, I'll be honest. I like to do a little scavenger hunt for my clients. So especially if I know they consume cannabis. Everybody know me. I'm a big cannabis advocate. So some of them have shared with me like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I like to burn and stuff like that. So then I'll do a little, I've done it a couple of times for ones that have expressed that to me. I go to a nice little dispensary, get them a nice one. I ask them, are they sativa, indica, what type of person they are? And then I'll hide it. I'm like, have you explored this part of your house before? Have you looked in this part of your yard before? You know what I'm saying? Just tuck it and then just say, I appreciate you guys. But like, be you. Genuinely be you. If you're a person that is a giver, if you're a person that likes to do for people, let those ideas just boom and explode in your brain. Write them down. Have all those at your nightstand so that you can go do that for your client. And it's just going to reinvent yourself because you're going to keep stepping up on it. But just continue to be you. Like, be yourself in this industry. Everything changed for me once Elias, I feel like, gave me, he didn't give me, but he did give me that ability to just say, nah, fuck this. I can be me. When I had that big pro, I was nervous as hell. But then he was like, nah, own that shit. Walk around proud, like be tall, like do you. You gonna really bring something out of somebody. And it changed the whole game for me.
Oh man, I appreciate that. And there's days I miss that, bro. But I think like let's
Me too.
Contextually, let's think about what Jeff is actually saying. I think this lands for everyone on this call. My hope is when Jeff is saying that in order to break the script, it's literally just doing what comes to you naturally, right? The script is do the buyer's consultation this way. Here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3. Any more questions? Wonderful. I'll see you tomorrow. That's the script, right? But now would Elias communicate like that? Would I do that? Would I say those words? That's not my words. Wouldn't I do something a little bit special? When the kids show up, like how are they greeted? How are they met? Do they got gummy bears? What am I doing to actually make this an experience for people? You guys define and over-define unreasonable experiences for our consumers moving forward that is in direct alignment with who you are as a human being. And that is fucking personal branding. That's personal branding at the highest level. So Jeff, always insightful. Let's go to Deep Bledsoe, and then we'll start to shift gears, tail end of this. Let's go, Deep.
Well, Jeff, he woke me up. I was dropping the girls off at school, so I got on late, but I want Jeff to come hide some weed in my house. That'd be cool. And then, just talking about unique value adds. Over the weekend, I held 2 garage / estate sales for this listing that I have coming up, which I'm not required to do. But they had a bunch of items left over in the house. But on the first day, my sellers, they were sitting there with me the whole time and just watching me interact with people that came to the garage sale. And they just got a better appreciation of who they hired to sell the house because they didn't know what I did. And these are friends of mine that I've known for a long time, but at the same time, we've never done business together. And so over my career getting passed up for opportunities in the real estate realm by my sphere, this felt good to actually show my friends what my value is on the real estate end. And I could tell by their reactions and our rapport, like they got a respect for it too. And so going above and beyond, who knows what'll come from this? She's already given me one other referral for somebody in the family to sell another home here in Oakland. But who knows what'll come from it now, just because of that extra step that I took before putting this house on the market, trying to help them get rid of all these possessions that are still in the home. So, you know, just do the extras and extra will come from it. And a wise man once said, work until it works.
That's right. I absolutely love this. So you guys, before we shift gears, I want to share with you one moment that we had as a family recently. And for the people that cook on this call, maybe I think Stephanie will really appreciate this because Stephanie cooks almost every night, she said. But I recently sent a referral to Liftoff Agent. They're the one that does my website. They built our company website. And I was just like, someone asked me, who did your website? I said, Liftoff Agent, call them. That's it. I didn't expect a single thing. Well, I got a text message from Liftoff Agent saying, hey, thank you for your referral. That person decided to get a website built with us. I was like, cool. Like, we'd like to send you a gift. Where would we send that? I'm like, you can send it here. Or you guys can, here's my email, whatever works best for you. I thought I'd get like a hat or a thank you letter or maybe like a $20 gift certificate to like Starbucks, which cool. Like, thank you for the gift. I'm honored. You know what they sent me, you guys? They sent me $375 in an Amazon card. In an Amazon card. And you know what my wife had been asking for? These. I don't know if you've ever seen these, but they're really, really cool. And they're really pretty. And they all match. So now every time we cook our meals on this non-stick white granite cooking ware, I think about them. And like this moment has stood out to me ever since they said, thank you for the referral. We would like to send you a gift. The small thing, but now those pans and pots that now match and my wife is super, super happy. That's something we're going to always remember time and time and time again. We have been looking at that set. Yeah, get that set. So you guys, let's talk about wins. I'm going to go over to you guys really quick. Let's talk about wins. Thank you for all your contributions so far. Let's talk about wins. We talked about Joshie the giraffe. Hopefully you guys connected with that story. But let's talk a little bit about wins, you guys. You had a productive week last week. Who has a win that they want to share for the group? Share a win, somebody got in contract, an appointment, a listing you won. Does anybody have anything that they want to share professionally or also personally that they would like to share? I need 3 people to go on right now. So let's go. One more, get in the queue. Who has a win? All right, cool. Perfect. Let's go Odog, then we'll go Vernon, and then we'll go Ashley, and then we'll go Sid. Let's go, Otis.
I was able to save that 4-1 deal down to 2-1. Was unfortunately couldn't get the other family. We got into this big thing, in order to secure the other end, I had to let it go. I'm pretty sure they're gonna let me go regardless, but the win is we still got it in. We still are days away from closing. So 3 deals getting ready to close this week. Professionally, with that, personally, over the weekend, getting back really into the production bag, but not even more so on the production part, but it was just really good being a part of something really great. Jaylen Brown, world champion, finals MVP, like all around, just like an amazing spirit. He touched everybody that was there. His initiative came here to team up with Jason Kidd to help out the wealth disparity gap, obviously with minorities. So didn't know myself it's 5 billion, but the fact that, you know, on day one last year, which made me a fan of him, is he was at the press conference, and Boston's probably one of the most racist cities in the United States. And right in front of the whole, you know, GM owner said this initiative live on TV. So I thought that was like a John Carlos, Mr. Smith moment. Like it was huge. So for him to really stand on business, come to Oakland and really be about it and show it that, you know, he wasn't just going to go with J Kidd as boots on the ground. He came through and we spent about 12 hours with him. I mean, just the work that he did. And it was just beautiful. So it was a great week.
I love it, man. I love seeing your stories and being able to be in those rooms and to hear from people, like be inspired by them, but give your contributions, give your commentary. That's what you do, my man. So great job. I love that win. Let's go to Vernon. Then we'll go to Cynthia, Ashley, and then George. Let's go, Vernon.
Yeah. Oh, that was dope. I think he's talking about the construction of Black Wall Street out in Oakland. Otis, I'd love to hear you win, bro. I'm looking forward to you scheduling your one-on-one for our flex call soon. Little plug for that there. Congratulations on your wins. We had wins. This week has been about winning. Every day there's been a win that manifests itself, but just in terms of the business, I think we had 2 transactions that closed last week. We got another one in contract the end of the week last week. So that's 3 in a week, but then also 2 listings that were signed this week that'll be going live at the beginning of September. So the pipeline is full. Elias, thank you for your name recognition. You got us a deal closed. I shared this on the team call last week. I got a deal closed with Elias and Kenny in Vegas, with the listing agent who accepted our offer, was in Vegas and had just finished listening to Elias drop the microphone on the stage. And as a result of being connected to Team Fast, got our offer accepted in Hayward. So super juiced about that, super juiced about our listings. Got some showings this week. I'm looking forward to having a few more in contract. But when you are present and note taking, the smallest pencil is much more sharper than the longest piece of memory, right? So when we're taking notes and when we actually apply what is shared in this collective space, you can't help but win. So if you're not winning, I'm going to ask you to check your study game or to check your attentive game, because when you leave these calls and implement these strategies, you will win.
I appreciate it. I'm so glad that it worked out for you. You know, we always talk about speed to execution, speed to implementation, you guys. You know, like I know that I don't have the highest skill in this industry, but what I have is I have the highest will, right? And it goes back to the original conversation we started. Like, no matter what, I have a will to win. I have a will to succeed. I have a will to help others, and I have a desire that far outweighs any skill that I have. And I know that if, as long as I continue to believe and apply the things that I learned, because I'm still a student, then things will work out, and they have, and they will continue. So I really appreciate that sentiment. And let's go over to Cynthia, and then we'll go over to Ashley, and then George.
Mine is real quick. I am just really a huge win for me is I have 21 stories and counting that I put on Instagram.
All right, who was on your ass the other day?
Oh, come on, Elias. Yeah, Elias was on me.
It's like, it's 9 o'clock, and I'm fucking counting. I'm like, 1, 2, all right, you got 7 more. Where you got? She's like, they're coming. So I appreciate that, because listen, it is, and she's talking because she's in the intensity program. In the intensity program, one of the metrics is 10 stories a day. Why? Because that builds that repetition of people seeing you every single day. And whose name are they going to say at the end of the year? The names that they see the most. And so Cynthia, she's like, it's coming. But I love that for you, Cynthia. I absolutely love it, because I know you think it's a challenge, but I don't really think it's a challenge. Look at you, because look what you've already done in the last 3 days. So Cynthia, mad love, mad respect for you, and I love that win. Let's go.
Thank you.
Let's go, Ash.
All right, good morning. So my win is a personal win. My son got in the car, and he's 12 years old, and he's just in this horrible mood, this puberty mood. He's like, I'm gonna fail 7th grade. We're only 3 weeks in, and he's just upset about life and doesn't want to talk about anything. And I was able to use your words, Elias. I said, hey, we don't sit around and whine and complain. We take massive action. We can put the puzzle pieces together. We go in, find out what's wrong, fix what you've been doing wrong, and make sure that you aren't going to do those things going forward. We're going to fix it. We're going to make the puzzle pieces. But if you sit around and whine, nothing's going to happen, but it's your choice. The rest of that car ride, he sat there and told me how he was going to fix what was wrong, and his entire mind changed. So I just wanted to thank you, because these calls don't just reach us. They're a domino effect that reach people in our lives too. And it definitely did for me this week.
Wow. I love it. You tell him I said hello, all right? You tell him Michaela's at 13, and she's just is like, I don't know what's going on with kids at 12, 13. They're fucking moody. They don't want to give hugs. They give side hugs. Like, I don't remember being that kid, but it was a different era. But I'm so happy for that win. Good stuff. Let's go, George Martinez. Let's go. Win for you.
Yeah, so my win for last week was that I got into contract twice. I put in an offer the day we had the team barbecue. It did not get accepted. They ended up going with someone else, and then that person canceled the contract, called us market. Then right now, with interest rates a lot of people are kind of out realizing like, okay, like I can either buy or rent. And Diana and I got into contract with my friend who's been my friend since fourth grade. We helped her a few months ago. She kind of took a pause. She actually decided like, you know what, I'm gonna rent. So on Monday, she went to go look at apartments or houses, and she was realizing like this house is going to cost me $4,000 a month to rent. And she said renting, like when she went, the agent for the rental was just like, you know what, there's too many people, too many applicants. I'm just going to host an open house. So my friend went, checked it out, and she said there were like 20 groups there. She was like, there's absolutely no way I'm going to get this. So on Monday, she contacted us and was like, hey, I saw these houses you guys sent me on Real Scout. Can I check them out? Or there's one that has like a Twilight tour. I'll go check it out. Checked it out. Had Mike run her payments. She said, if you can get me under $5,000, I'll do it. Well, she saw it on Tuesday. We went back on Wednesday. We got her into contract on Thursday while I was in San Diego. And she closes next week. So
let's go.
Those two. Yeah, so both of them actually close on the same day next week. So they're both 2-week closes. And I would say the best part about both deals is that it's all relationship building, like Vernon said. The off market was with Peter and Dewey on our team. So that's why it's always great to like network, and literally you never know where the deals are at within our own team. And then for the other agent, he built the rapport with our client, me and Diana, and then even having a lender partner that like reaches out and talks about like, you know what, these are my steps, and really just working with people that you really vibe with is what really won that deal. It's all relationship building.
God, I absolutely love this. And you cut out for a second, but I absolutely love this win. And shout out to you as well, Diane. And the puppy is very, very cute. So you guys, I appreciate all your contributions, and I appreciate you sharing your wins. I got a win that I want to share because it's important to me, as I'm, obviously still building my personal brand too. So all these conversations that we have about personal brand, I'm building my personal brand. So I got a text message last week for Glenda Baker. If you guys know who that is, she, is let's call her influencer, social media guru, but also just a really great realtor. She asked me to be on her podcast today. And so I'm going to be on Glenda Baker's podcast, which I think is a pretty big deal. And so I'm really, really grateful for that. And the only reason that I'm there is because we have met at events and we have talked, we have socialized, and I follow her, and it's just really cool. And so I'm excited. I want to share that with you guys. I want you guys to go to the board today. Once again, it's Monday. You got to be very clear on what's going to move your needle. If you're in intensity, you know exactly what's going to move your needle this week. You have tons of activities to be able to conquer this week. But if you're not intensity, then you need to create your own version of intensity. No excuses, no bullshit, no stories, and just be able to define, what does my week actually look like? I'm going to make X amount of calls today. I'm going to the office 3 times today. I'm knocking on X amount of doors. I'm dropping 3 reels. I'm doing 70 stories. I'm fucking clear. Monday morning, I am set. Like, I know exactly what I'm going to accomplish this week. There is no rhyme. There's no I understand the rhyme and reason of what I'm going to do this week. There is no delineation between I don't know what to do and this and that. Like, I'm clear. I'm fucking clear with what's going to happen. I want you guys to do that as well. I want you guys to send out a deal of the week email. I promise you guys, from the core of who I am, this works. Look at your MLS. Find a property that had the price reduction, has been sitting on the market, back on the market, whatever it is, send that out to your database. City, deal of the week. Hey, Tom, I found this property that is a great deal, and we're calling it the deal of the week. Here's the stats on it. If you're interested, reply to this email. Thanks. Simple, simple, simple. Ask yourself, what are you committed to accomplishing this week? Write it down, declare it, and go and make it happen. Get clear on the numbers, the conversations, the videos, the stories, the CRM, the people you're adding to your CRM, how much physical activity that you will achieve this week. And last but not least, as always, every Monday, I'm going to ask you the same question. Today, I'm going to do this even though I do not want to. Even though I do not want to. Be very clear. It is Monday. This is our time to say, you know what? I'm going to conquer this week. I have some big goals. I have some big dreams. I know what I'm doing for the fall season, right? Guys, Monday morning is your opportunity. So thank you for being here. Appreciate all of your contributions. If we could get one final takeaway from Diana, one final takeaway in 30 seconds or less from our session today. Let's go to you and then we'll wrap.
Yeah, so lots of changes are happening in the industry as of today. Monday's the day, right? I say don't be afraid of it. The market shifts all the time, every week, every day, every year. Know that we're in a market that always changes, and we just need to focus on the activities that we can commit to, the things that are within our control, how we show up. George reminded me to show up with my positive, happy face attitude and not the dark, stormy cloud that, you know, maybe following you around. And, you know, it's game time when we're in front of our clients. So don't practice on your clients, practice before that in groups like this so that you can show up in game time and win. Like, we just keep showing up for our clients, whether they say yes or no. Now's the time, later's the time. We just remind them that we do this every day. It doesn't matter when they decide to jump in, but we're always ready for them when they do. So go out there and win today.
Let's go. Let's go. And you guys, really quick reminder, Wednesday is going to be a very, very big day for Keep It Moving. We have Kendall Bonner. She is the Vice President of Industry Relations for EXP. She's coming in. She's doing a whole presentation. She's demystifying the NAR settlement. She is doing a whole presentation for 1 hour, and then you're going to have an additional 30 minutes to stay behind to ask her any questions. So you guys, I'm dropping that reel today. Share that with as many people as you want. If they're outside of EXP, I don't give a shit. Have them come in. This will be the best NAR presentation that you have seen thus far. I promise you that, you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being present. Thank you for having your cameras on. Thank you for waking up with me. As always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision, and go out there and fuck some shit up this week. Peace.
Let's go.